Just before we start, I just wanted to mention one thing quickly. Helos & Co. and Sporting Club Helos are independent missions. They're both run solely by myself. So if you could like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, it would mean the world. Check out helosandco.com. And without further ado, let's get into it. All right. Welcome back to Helos Homies. I'm here with another very prestigious guest, a veteran in the Australian hip-hop scene at the age of 26. I'm here with Elijah. How are you, brother? You good?
What's up, bros? How are you?
Yeah, good, thank
My
you.
G, thank you for having me, bro.
Pleasure's mine. Pleasure's mine. Been listening to you since I was like, I'm 23, 17 or 18.
You're 23.
Yeah.
Fuck, you young, bro.
How old do I look?
Older than me, bro. Straight up.
Yeah. I think, I first came across you back in the day. And then I just kind of followed along from there, like the Bandoleros, West Coast Eat.
Yeah.
That was kind of big when I was around 20. I remember all that. But look, there's a lot of questions to ask Elijah, but the first one I want to ask is, how did you get into hip hop?
So like I've been around hip hop since young. I think I grew up like just listening to rap in general. Like my dad was always playing rap, so yeah, I've always been around it. But I actually got into like writing and beat making and stuff. Like when I was in high school. So I started making beats first before I was like doing raps. But my beats were trash, bro. Like I was making shit on like GarageBand and like they were just like they were like whatever beats.
What age is that at?
13, 14.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So yeah, I was doing that, and then but the thing that got me into writing was, so my cousins like they were like fucking runaway kids, like they would run away from home and shit. And one time they came back home and like they were rapping, and I was like, well, I can rap, like like it's that cousin like friendly, like rivalry thing of like we just want to be better than each other and shit. So like I started writing after that, but I wasn't recording. I wasn't like trying to be a rapper or anything. I was just like, I was just writing. And then it wasn't until it was when I met Marvs.
Shout out Marvs, man.
Shout out Marvs, bro. Like I say this to everyone. Hey, if it wasn't for Marvs, I don't think I'd be rapping. So like. Yeah, I was going to church with Marvs. He was rapping, obviously. And then, like, one day out the blue, he just asked me, like, oh, you want to come rap at this church thing that we got? I was like, fuck yeah, I'll do it, like, whatever. And then, we went to his house, recorded the song. And after that day, like, when we recorded, and then I listened back to it, I was like, bro, like, fuck yeah, this is what I want to do, eh? Like, yeah, she got me excited. Can we swear?
Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah, my bad, bro.
Yeah, no, you can swear all you want. So you meet Marvs, and what age is that?
15.
15.
Yeah.
2 years later, I noted that you released something on SoundCloud at the age of 17.
Yeah.
People can find it if they want. There's a very different sound. And then you did, the other thing I spotted was like a cover of Bryson Tiller, maybe. Exchange.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was like the next one 2 years later.
Yeah.
And then slowly but surely, Elijah moves into his own sound, which is, bro, it's kind of hard to describe your sound to someone because you have a variety, I've noticed. Yeah. Like 3 Deep, you hopped on, and that was like UK drill. You killed it, by the way.
Thank you, bro.
That was one of the best drill tracks the country's seen. And then West Coast Party, Bandoleros is clearly like that Latin American West Coast influence. Yeah. And then even like the hooks track still like got a Latino, like, I could hear a Latino rapper on that,
Yeah.
But it was very Australian as well. At what point do you start developing like the actual Elijah Yo sound? At what age?
I'd say like 19 or 20. So like I'm talking like 2017.
Yeah.
I'd say it was around that time. Just because like I was creating a bunch of different like sounds, and I wasn't really too focused on like, oh, I need to make a sound like specifically like this. I was just making like whatever, and like whatever I liked, I would release.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd say around 2017.
What was your favorite sound to hop on? Was it that West Coast sound?
Definitely the West Coast, bro. Like I feel like I resonate with this so much. I don't know why. Like it's probably because I grew up on it, but yeah, I love West Coast beats. So.
Yeah. You mentioned in that your dad was a promoter in the DME TV interview. Was he pumping like that American West Coast sound?
Not necessarily. Like he was, but he was more like East Coast. Like, he was more like Biggie and
Nas and all that.
Yeah, dude's from East Coast, bro. Yeah. So like, but it was all my cousins and like growing up, like that was all West Coast. Yeah.
Where do you think the West Coast influence comes from? Because New Zealand's massive on it. Where do you think like it comes from for the Polynesian?
Yeah.
population.
Yeah, for me, like, I don't know. I feel like we just resonate with it, eh? Like, even in like the West Coast, there's like a massive Polynesian community out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Booyah tribe, isn't it?
yeah,
Like the
yeah,
first.
yeah, bro. So like, I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but yeah,
Yeah, it just kind of resonated.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, that explains like your biggest tracks. Hey, West Coast Party, Bandoleros.
Yeah, yeah.
West Coast Party did stupid numbers, bro. I was looking at it this morning. I remember it being like your best song in terms of like what people received.
Yeah.
I looked at it this morning. It's done 1 million on both major platforms, YouTube and Spotify.
Yeah.
What's it like having a song hit 1 million?
Yeah, it's cool, bro. Like, we just want more, you know?
Yeah.
We need more millions. And that's what it is.
Never settle, hey.
Yeah, never settle, bro. Like, I'm definitely proud because, like, that was a goal that I had. But, you know, like, once you reach a goal, like, you just want...
What's next?
Yeah, yeah.
And then we move on from like you're developing your sound and then you become like Elijah, you cement yourself in like 2018, 2019. At some point, and this is full circle, I'm very glad to have you on the podcast for this exact reason. The first ever artist I got involved with Helos was Soca. For those who are listening, Soca doesn't release the most music nowadays. Back in the day, Elijah, you gave him a chance via, was it like a church thing maybe? Or like a...
Nah, it was almost like a talent scouting thing. So like, yeah, I got called into work at PCYC.
Yeah.
They just got a grant to run a program, and the program was basically like me and this other guy Philly, shout out Uncle Phil. Like we teach, you know, young youth how to make their own beats and, you know, record their own songs and, you know, release their stuff. And yeah, Soca was one of those kids. So like, he came in to, what do you call it? It's like a call out, right? Like an audition.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he came out with his mate and yeah, fuck. As soon as I heard this kid, I was like, bro, like, there's something special here. And I just knew it like straight from the get-go. But yeah, that's how I met Soca.
Yeah. And then when does the idea come around to go, I'm going to put this kid on a track with me for round one?
Yeah, like ASAP. Like as soon as I met him, I was like, yeah, I definitely want to do like music with him, as well as like help him become his own artist and, you know, do whatever he can do as an artist. Because bro, the kid had so much talent, you know, like I saw so much potential in him, and yeah, still do definitely. Bro.
Yeah,
like,
I was about to say,
shout out Soca, bro. Yeah. Like, drop your shit, boy. Drop your shit. I'm telling you, bro.
Yeah, be sitting there smiling, listening.
Yeah, hard, bro.
So you do round one, and for like to explain the concept to people, it's like very much one of those back and forth songs where like the concept is you two are versing each other, but like in reality, it's just bar for bar. I love it. Like it was sick. Round two comes out, and that's more of like I think that was most probably the better one. I think Soca really killed on that one.
Yeah, bro.
That was like his step up to like the platform. And even, bro, because I was doing my research last night, I was looking at the comments, and I remember looking at them in like 2020. That's when I linked with, just after the first COVID thing. That was when I first linked with Soca. I remember the comments back then, and it was like, this kid's going to be like, you know, one of the GOATs, whatever. And I still look at, like, there was fresh comments on it saying like, Soca's still got one of the best voices I've ever heard in Australian hip hop and all that.
Yeah, 100%.
And when he hopped on that song and like, just that like rhythm and like that flow he has, that like flow state he goes into.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's his cadence, bro. Like the pockets that he can sit in, like that when he writes, the pockets that he fits in is like some shit that like you wouldn't normally think to write like that. And especially like, I mean, it's a lot of things. It's the way he says what he says, like there's a lot of conviction in what he says. Like you can really feel what he's saying. Yeah, a lot of things, bro. This kid's different.
Yeah. And then we go from round one, round two. You continue to release your own stuff. You release 3 Deep, which is like your debut drill track, hey?
Yeah.
What was it like hopping on at the time? I think a lot of people hop on drill, and Dave did it as well in the UK. And they're certified to hop on it purely because they're doing it to hop on drill. They're not like a culture vulture, but they're showing you, hey, I can still do this shit.
Yeah.
You did that. Dave did that as well. Yeah. With Paper Cuts. Was the Dave one. What was it like hopping on a drill sound? Like, how did you feel like hopping on it? Was it very different? Or did it come naturally to you?
Yeah, it came naturally, bro. Like, Because I think at the time I was listening to a lot of it anyways. So, and because Soca, like when he came in, he had heaps of drill stuff. Yeah, and I think it was more like me trying to make something. Like I think I made that song in with him in mind, like as if he was gonna jump on it. And then I dropped like a little snippet on Instagram, and like fuck, people were like running it up, but like I wasn't expecting it. So I finished the track like quickly and yeah, chucked it out. But
What was the response like?
yeah, it was crazy, bro. Like I think the hype off that one snippet, like I think still to this day, like I've never got as much like hype on a post.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, the people liked it, bro. And but for me personally, like I did it, and I kind of did it like, yeah, this is alright, like almost like as a joke, like
Yeah.
yeah. But what you were saying, like just to show people like I can do it, you know. But I'm not trying to fucking become a drill artist or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, I'm just making music, bro. That's yeah.
Yeah, I think that's like the perfect way to do it for someone like yourself. It's like I'll do one song just to show you I can do it.
Yeah,
you do
yeah.
it, you nail it, and then you just go fuck it. I don't want to do it. Like
Yeah.
that's not my thing. you know?
Yeah, yeah, it's not really my thing. No.
And then shortly after, out of nowhere, seemingly to me as a fan, you move to the other side of the world.
Yeah,
You move to the UK.
I did.
I'm fascinated by this.
Yeah.
You don't have to go into detail if you don't want to, but what was the thinking behind moving over to the UK? Was it music based? Was it just like life based? What was it?
It was music based at first, but I realized quickly that I think God sent me there for like to have like this little retreat for myself. To be honest, like because I didn't really do much music there. Like I made music, but I wasn't really releasing it. But in terms of like my personal, you know, like my mental health and stuff like that, I think I needed that time away from Australia, away from like, you know, being a Lazio, away from like everything I know, and just, you know, go somewhere and almost like reset.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but like the thought process in moving there, like it was random, Like I went there for a holiday and yeah, I just ended up staying. Like I was supposed to come back, but I was just like, cause I got family there. And my auntie was like, oh yeah, like if you want to stay here, like you can stay until like, you know, you get a job and, you know, you can get your own place and stuff. And I was like, fuck yeah, like why not, you know? Different experience, I don't know.
How old were you at the time?
22.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I moved there with my big brother. Yeah, we lived in Birmingham.
Oh, the Bram.
Yeah, we lived in Brom, G, like.
Nuts accent, eh?
Yeah, bro. It was so confusing to me because like London is only 2.5 hours like south, but the accent is so different.
Yeah.
But like you go to fucking Melbourne, and that's 8 hours, and our accent is the same. Like
Yeah.
I don't understand it, right? Yeah. So yeah, that shit tripped me out.
Yeah, to explain to people, it's kind of like if you take someone from Sydney and then you grab someone from New Zealand that's never
Yeah.
left New Zealand.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how stark the accent difference
Yeah.
is, but they live like within an hour
Two and a half hours
Yeah.
away, bro. That's fucking ridiculous.
Did you try and link with any Birmingham artists like JK?
Like I see, like at the time, like I didn't even know any Birmingham artists.
Yeah.
So like I was doing my research like while I was living there.
Oh, Mist would have been one of them.
Yeah, yeah. Miss JK, even like Georgia Smith, like she lives in Warsaw, but that's only
Yeah.
like 20 minutes from Birmingham.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
That would have been cool, eh?
yeah, bro, definitely.
So when you were over there for like a year or two, hey?
3 years, bro.
Did you come back this year, did you?
I came back in December last year.
Yeah, right. What'd you get up to?
Yeah, bro. Like I was said, like, you know, I think just working on myself, like as a person.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I did a lot of traveling. Like we were in Europe all the time.
Where was your favorite? I went to Europe last year. Where was your
Oh yeah,
favorite?
Amsterdam, bro. By far, easily.
Gone,
bro.
eh?
Yeah.
Gone.
So like, yeah, we lived in Amsterdam for like a month
Yeah.
because we had to get our visa, and you can't apply for the visa like within the UK. You gotta like go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah. So fuck like, and this is in like the middle of COVID too. So like, but everything was open in Amsterdam. Yeah. So fuck, we were cheering.
Where were you staying in Amsterdam? On the canals, or were you over the other side of the river?
Nah, like we're on the canal side, but like not in like the heart of the city. It was like 2 stops from the city. Like we used to catch the train like into the city every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Amsterdam's so fun, eh?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we stayed at the when I was there at a hostel. We stayed in one hostel that was near, that like big swing thing off the side of the building.
Fuck, I'm not sure. Eh?
So like how you got like the river and you got like the main station is on the
Yeah,
river.
yeah.
Just over the other side of that river, there's like a massive tall building. You got like a swing that comes off it.
Oh, okay.
We stayed in a hostel like near that.
Yeah.
And then when we went back before Tomorrowland, we stayed in a thing called the Bulldog.
Oh, yeah.
If anyone's been to Amsterdam, the Bulldog's where you get all your fun stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's also doubles down as a hostel, so we'll stay in there.
I didn't know that. Eh? I thought it was just a bar, like.
Nah, yeah. So it's like we stayed there, and like the rooftop was just filled with smoke. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Did you go to like Berlin or Croatia or anything like that?
We went to. Oh fuck, what's it called?
Did you go to any random spots?
We went through Germany. Like we went through like France, Belgium. I think Belgium was probably the weirdest. Like Brussels.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird as fuck, bro. Like, cause we're staying in like this farmhouse. Like, yeah, it was the randomest place ever. And like, yeah, people are weird. Like, I mean, they're not weird. Sorry. Yeah. Do you know what I'm on about?
No, yeah, they are weird.
Yeah,
the Belgians are very weird.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
The Belgian population, for people listening that haven't done geography, I only learn't this because I went there. Is like it's a mix of French, German, Dutch. So it's just it like literally sits in the middle of those three countries.
Yeah,
and they speak all three languages. So it's very much like you're hard to find like. Not to say like a native Belgian, there's obviously them around, but like it's just such a weird country, because it's got all three influences of their neighbors. But did you go to like down south, like Italy?
Yeah. We went to Italy, went to Cannes.
That's France, eh?
Yeah, that's in France, yeah, but we went down south, it was cool, bro. Like Cannes is different, like, because we went there in summer last year, and bro, just the way like it felt like I was here in summer, like. It was like 40 degrees, like, no shirt on and shit, like, sitting by the beach, bro. Fuck, it was hectic.
Yeah, I had that in Croatia. In Split.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Like, we had a hostel, $30 a night. So it was like, wasn't pretty. But, like, we stayed just outside Main Beach in Split.
Oh, okay.
So you go down, but the beach is hardly a beach. There's only, like, 40 meters of sand. But then they've got, like, this concreting thing around the whole bay. So there's shops all around the whole bay, like beach bars and restaurants. Okay. So we were just like drinking all day, and then you'd go home, sleep for like 2 or 3 hours, and then we had Ultra on at night, like the music festival.
Yeah.
And that went from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Fuck, that's sick, bro.
And then you'd come home at like 6:30, or like 5:30 if you were tired, and you'd sleep till like 8 a.m. Yeah. And then it got too hot in the hostel, so you'd go down to the beach and you'd start drinking again.
Yeah, true. Fuck that. Yeah. That must have been a vibe, bro.
Yeah.
Could imagine.
I didn't get to do south of France, but I want to do all that.
Yeah, have to, bro.
Yeah.
Definitely have to.
Do you think traveling helps you, like, when you've come back here to start, like, making music? Do you think it, like...
Yeah, 100%. I think the thing it did for me most was, like, really appreciate Australia, Like, really appreciate West Sydney. Yeah. Because, like, being over there for that long, bro, like, you know, I was, like, missing home, and I was missing, like, you know, simple things like food and, like, you know, just even the accent and shit, like, or even, like, talking to people and they know what I'm on about, like, you know, because, like, this stuff, like, you can't really talk to people out there about stuff from the area, like, unless you're from the area, you know, they don't know what you're on about. Yeah.
Yeah, and the slang.
Yeah. I was even teaching, like, some of the boys, like my mate Frank, he's a barber. Shout out Frank, bro. I was teaching him fucking about, like, Eshay.
Yeah.
He's like, Eshay? What's Eshay? And in, like, his Brum accent, fuck, it was so funny, yeah. I was telling him about, like, Eastwell and, like, stuff like that.
Yeah, Pig Latin.
Yeah, G, and fuck it, yeah. Even, like, fucking oath. Yeah. I was like, yeah, bro, the way he says it is so funny, yeah. Yeah, it's hilarious, bro.
So you've come back from Australia, which was, from Europe, my bad. No, so you come back from Europe, which is December last year. It's June now, so you've had 7 months home. What's been going on? Like, what have you been working towards?
A project, bro. So, like, I'm working on my own project right now. It's definitely going to come out this year because, I just need to start releasing my shit. But, it's a lot of just, like, strategizing what tracks that, you know, like, tracks that I made in the UK that I still want to put out and what ones that I'm just going to chuck. And, a lot of collaborating, bro. So, like, getting in the studio with, I don't know, producers and artists from here. And don't ask me who because I can't say. But, Yeah, bro. I'm just happy to be home and be working there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why'd you come home?
See, even that's funny. Like, I came home for a holiday, and I ended up staying, bro. Like, yeah, I didn't like even when I was over there. I didn't even really want to come back here, just because I had the thought, like, yeah, fuck. I think if I come back, I'll end up staying. Yeah, but I think it's God, bro. Like everything for me is God. Like I think God puts me where He wants me to be, and I'm just a vessel for God, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. So
Yeah, beautifully put.
thank you, bro.
So what do you think the album like? What would be the main sounds on the album? You reckon? Are you going like that West Coast sound, or are you doing like a theme that's gonna have all different types of sounds?
um, there definitely is some West Coast stuff on there, just because like I feel like that's something that I do and I do well.
You do the best in the country.
Yeah, I mean, like in terms of other artists and stuff, like no one really touches West Coast except for like, I mean, there's 046,
Yeah.
but even their West Coast is more like G Funk. Yeah. But my stuff is like the stuff that I'm making now, at least. Yeah, it's a different kind of West Coast. Um, but yeah, shout out 046. They're doing their thing, bro.
Yeah, they're killing it.
Yeah, but I got a couple different sounds on there, to be honest.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Yeah.
You got a few features on it as well.
Yeah,
You're not sure?
yeah. Nah, I do.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I can't wait for it. Did you release Genesis on Spotify like recently?
Yeah, it was 2021. I put it out.
Yeah, because round 2 came up on my phone like last year. And I was
Yeah.
like, fuck, I didn't even know this was on Spotify. I felt like an idiot.
Yeah, yeah. I only put it out like maybe a year and a bit ago.
Yeah. Because you got 2 albums? No, 1 album, isn't it? And like 2 EPs.
Yeah, they're mixtapes. So like the two. So I got the B-side mixtape, and then I got the Neighborhood Plug mixtape.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then you got Genesis as well.
yeah, and even Genesis is it's like a mixtape, bro. I don't feel like they're real like projects, just because like not all of them are like my own kind of stuff.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
And you feel like the sound, like with an album, it's normally like a chronological type of
Yeah,
thing. You
yeah.
feel like
It's
that's-
something more official. Something like I actually put time and effort into like cultivating some type of like theme or story or something. Yeah. With those ones, like they were just all songs that I just threw together and stuff. So
Yeah. Speaking of albums, I think albums, personally, from just a fan perspective, who talks to artists, I think our biggest downfall in Australia, the hip hop scene, so to speak, would be our albums.
yeah.
I think like that's just. I think originality is another thing. That's a whole different topic. But like, I think albums is like our biggest downfall, and a lot of artists like labels kind of rush them into those EPs and stuff to try and like so then they can go tour and get like ticks on the board type of stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of artists don't focus on like making like a proper beautiful album. Do you think that's a big downfall in Australian hip hop?
100%, bro. Like, I think with artists right now, their main thing is like getting buzz and like getting momentum and stuff. And the way to do that is through singles or like even an EP. But yeah, I think maybe it's just because it's not like.
But where do you draw the line between buzz and like legacy and respect? You know?
Yeah, well, see, like I think someone like people like 1-4, like Hefs, people are in that tier should be making albums right now. To be honest, I mean I know 1-4 they put out that Against All Ones, and that was a killer album, bro. Like yeah, bro.
That's what I mean. Even like an EP, but at least like that was structured well, and it like there was a story, and the interludes were done perfectly.
Yeah.
You know that type of thing. Whereas like I feel like just that like there's so many artists that are just wasting time trying. Like I feel like even Lissy did a really good EP. Was it called Good Enough? Maybe it was called Good Enough.
So yeah.
Yeah, it might have just been called Good Enough.
Yeah.
Or it was a simple title, but the cover photo was him and Good Enough. Even that was like just well done. Like he told different story and it had like a running theme to it. But I feel like artists when they start popping off and they actually get the buzz they've been chasing, there's not like a next step.
Yeah. I think it's easy to get stuck in that thing of like just releasing singles, especially when it's working. Like I think that's probably what the problem is. Like singles work, so why bother trying to do an album? But I think for people like probably like yourself, bro, who love music, like an album is like something to really cherish. To be honest, because Like when I think about my favorite albums, like they're the ones that have like storylines to it, like Good Kid, Mad City, bro. Like the story in it, like the fact that you have to listen to like from track 1 to track whatever,
To understand the whole
yeah,
thing.
to understand everything is like, that shit excites me, when
Yeah.
it comes to albums, to be honest.
I revisited Good Kid, Mad City when I was like 20 or 21. I remember like one night, like there was during COVID lockdowns, and I was just sitting in my bed. I was like, "Fuck, I'm gonna give this a proper listen." And when the art of peer pressure comes on, when you like listen to the album, you're like, "Holy fuck! Like this is perfect."
Yeah,
Like how do you do it? And then like what was his Damn, like Kendrick's album after that. It was just all of Kendrick's albums done well. I don't expect Australians to hit the same levels.
Yeah.
But just kind of like even in the UK they do it well. Like Potter Paper recently released an album. I'm a massive fan of him.
Is that Slumdog?
Yeah.
That one? Yeah.
Chubby little Algerian.
Yeah.
An anomaly, bro. Like crazy story on him. But yeah, like him and even Nines does it really well.
Yeah.
Like the album's not like the greatest sonic sound, but like there's at least a story told, and if you're a fan, you can kind of really grasp onto something in there. And there's different sounds as well, like the ability to tell the story whilst bringing in more sounds and different sounds. But I feel like we fall flat in our face trying to do it.
Yeah.
And then the other perspective that was raised to me, I can't even remember who it was. It wasn't. I can't remember who it was. It was B-Wise. B-Wise was saying to me, is like, yeah, well, a label will come in and they'll just be like, they see how much money a single can make, and then how much money and time goes into an album.
Yeah.
And sometimes the album won't even make as much money as the single.
Yeah.
So why would the label push it?
Yeah. Especially for a new artist, I think, like, because, I think there's a lot of new artists coming out right now. And, I understand the thought process of, like, why would they make an album when they can just make singles and that works for them, you know?
Yeah. What do you think is the best thing we do in this scene?
Fuck, that's a good question, bro. I think it's too early to say, to be honest. Like,
I agree.
Yeah, because, bro, we're only like a couple years in like this new era of the scene right now.
We're 5 years in, realistically.
Yeah,
5 to 10 years.
I mean, like before that, like, you know, the Curses and the Hilltop Hoods and stuff, like they had their run and stuff. But like this is a new era right now, and I would say 5 years max, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because the start, even with yourself, the start of like you guys was like, even Selly is a really good example. It's like a very American influence. That's how you guys like kind of kickstarted, it seems, from like my perspective, you know. And like even UK samples as well. I still remember to the day. I think Hefs did it and Spenny did it. They hopped on like Skepta beats back in the day. They did those freestyles on Instagram, and they popped up. And then those first few years of like the boys really gaining their sound, we first hopped on the UK and American sound, and then it's only been like max 5 years where like people like yourself really cemented like, this is my sound, this is who I am, this is what I'm best at, you know?
Yeah.
I think we've still got a long way to go. But the most promising thing I think is like take flight. I think coverage is our biggest downfall.
100%.
I kind of wanted to start something the same, but I'm more fascinated with doing like a podcast thing. But I think like coverage, because we have a lot of talent, but we don't have enough coverage to cover it properly.
Yeah, true.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And to be honest, I feel like, I don't know, some of the platforms, like not Take Flight, because Take Flight, bro, they're like
Shout
my
out
favorite.
Wings.
Yeah, shout out Wings, bro. Like, I feel like some of the other platforms, at least before, I don't know about now, but like they used to only put on certain people. Maybe it was like just the people that were bigger, but not the people that were good.
Yeah.
Even though their streams were like fucking, you know, nothing. Yeah, I think maybe, that's probably a big problem as well. But that's why it's good. Like, we got dudes like Wings. We got dudes like you know. Yeah, putting on for the scene, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate it, bro. I just, I completely agree with like, it's not like nepotism, but it's like favoritism they had. And they had their own like little circles. And I spotted that. I was like 19, 20. When I first linked with Soca, that's honestly something that played in my head. It's like, I wonder if this kid's getting airtime besides Elijah. Elijah. Like, besides Elijah, like, who's really out here giving him airtime? I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, fuck it, whatever. I sold heaps of hoodies this year. Let's chuck them in a hoodie and do a photo shoot. Yeah. And we just drove around Reesby all night and just got a feed and did a photo shoot.
That's sick.
But I just think like, I think our biggest downfall, and a lot of people like, even when I talk to my friends, they have something similar to say. They're like, No, like I'll show them an artist. There was a guy called All Black Albie, that Mars.
Yes, yeah,
Ridiculous.
yeah,
10 to 30,000 streams.
yeah. Heavily underrated, bro. Like,
Most I've seen in a long time.
yeah,
Like most underrated I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
In terms of like relating numbers to the art.
mm,
And I seen him and I just thought like, what the fuck are we doing? Like,
Yeah,
how is someone like him like slipping through the cracks?
yeah, exactly.
And without Marvs, I don't see him.
Mm,
You know,
yeah.
I feel like that's like our biggest. Yeah.
Yeah,
Who do you think's most underrated in the scene?
yeah, definitely Soca, bro. Like, if you're asking me like who's the best rapper in like Australia, bro, I'm gonna say Soca. Like,
Bar for bar.
yeah, bar for bar, bro. Like, I don't think anyone even comes close to this kid.
Yeah.
Especially with like his age and like the way he does what he does, bro. Like, yeah, no one comes close, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is hard to say. So if, say we were to have a Royal Rumble, right?
Mm.
I've had this conversation with a few rappers and like a few people in music. And you ought to put rappers into a ring.
Yeah.
And it's bar for bar.
Mm.
I think Soca ends up in like the top end of it.
Yeah.
I think Alex Jones from Melbourne ends up in it.
Yeah.
And then like I don't know, there's just artists that like slip through the cracks, like even like either Lex or Sally for me. One of them would end up there as well. And then there's just like artists around the country. There was a guy called Shadow.
Yeah. Yeah.
From Perth?
Yeah. Yeah.
He kind of like took me by surprise.
Yo.
Obviously someone like Lishy, someone like yourself.
Yeah.
Like Marvs is another one. Fez.
Hard.
Fez doesn't rap anymore, but Fez would have been like,
Yeah.
if you were to put him in there. But yeah, I spoke to Marvs about this.
Yeah.
I kind of want to do like a battle rap thing, but maybe it's hard because there's obviously area problems, right? And I'm not from the area, I'm from the fucking Blue Mountains. But obviously people have personal problems. But I want to do like 360 cursor thing. I want to do something like that. Do you think that would fly? Like, do you think people get around it?
Yeah. Maybe just be very weary of the people you choose. But yeah, I think it'll definitely work, bro. Like,
Yeah.
100%.
Would you help on it?
100%, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
See, I feel like you're one of those guys who can sing and do lots of things. So you kind of like people might not be as aware as to the ability you hold to throw down bars. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I started off as a rapper. Like, singing is just something. Singing is still like new to me. Like, I'm still getting used to it. But I spit, bro. Like, yeah.
How do you go about like learning to sing once you've started rapping? How's that?
Learning the scene?
Like learning the singing part. Like, do you
learning singing.
Does someone like teach you? Like, do you get full teachers in?
Nah. Fuck, I can't afford that shit. I just practice, bro. Like, I think I just try like melodies that work on beats and I record it, and most of the times it sounds shit, and you know that one time out of 10 it might sound alright, and then
go from there.
Yeah, I go from there, G. But yeah, it's definitely something that is like I'm seeing it. It's a lot more common now. I think after Drake, or even like J. Cole, maybe like you know, singing and rapping, but you're a rapper first. Yeah, I think you need it, to be honest. If you want to crack it on like a level up there, I think you need to be able to do both, to be honest.
Yeah. I completely agree. I think Drake did it.
Yeah.
I think Drake did it on a heavy level, and he can sing on different like flows as well.
Yeah.
And different pitch. That's what kind of makes him like very dangerous as a rapper. Kind of clash with. But then and then I remember when I thought like he'd fully gone to singing, and then it was good because like Pusha T kind of reminded him like, fuck you, like, you think you can rap, and then like Drake come back with rapping over the next like few years, and I thought that was like I thought that was sick.
Yeah.
Then I was going to the other thing I really wanted to ask about was what yourself. It's been 9 years since you first released that song, right? Age 17, Elijah. Do you ever picture Western Sydney moving like it does now in the hip hop scene globally as it does?
Yes, and that's the crazy thing, because like I always knew there was talent out here, because like a lot of these artists, like I knew they were rapping, and I think it was more just like the exposure, like making sure, like if we can expose this to the world, then like they'll grasp on it like that, and they did, I think. But yeah, I definitely knew like when I was younger, like yeah, there's something special here. It just needs to be tapped into. Because when I was growing up, like there was even a scene when I was young. It just wasn't popping, and I'm talking about dudes like
D-Boss, Red Honcho.
yeah, D Boss, like free not free souls, soul benefits,
Yeah.
fucking Aloe and C, sorry, Aloe C and Lee Monroe, like all these dudes were like from the area, but like none of them were getting like that kind of exposure, at least the exposure that we get now. And I think it's just because of social media, to be honest, because like now, yeah, fuck, you can access heaps of shit from anywhere in the world,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, I think it was just the exposure thing, to be honest. Yeah.
What was the main thing that you picked up on that was like, yeah, I can see Western Sydney really going global?
I think it was when I was meeting rappers, like meeting other people, and I was like seeing their talent and seeing how good they were at what they do, and I couldn't understand, like, especially like the main guy that really like spun me was Storm from Soul Benefits.
Yeah.
So like this guy, bro, like I still put him up as like not like in my top 5 in Australia, and I don't even think he raps anymore. But like that just goes to show how good he was at that time. But this guy, like I used to be like, bro, how the fuck is he not like blown up? Like yeah, shit spun me. But
What do you think a lot of rappers in Australia that deserve to blow up don't?
I don't know. Maybe it's work ethic. Maybe it's because like a lot of like the ones that I like, they don't release much stuff, to be honest. And yeah, I don't know why that is.
Fucking Soca's a good example.
Yeah. Soka's the best example, bro. Like he has some of my favorite music, like in Australia, period. And like it's just sitting on my phone unreleased, and I just drive around listening to it by myself. You know, like
That's
you know. But like, yeah, I don't know.
Do you think labels has a big part to play in it, or the lack thereof?
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. I think it's more internal. Like it's more like depends on the person. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you start your own label?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely in my plans. Yeah, like I definitely want a label at some point in my career.
Yeah. I think our distribution in this country is pretty fucking. I don't know. You can tell, like even in Australia, you can kind of tell when like someone's kind of like, yeah, labels kind of pick up people they think like will sell a lot of singles and make the label a lot of money. They don't care about the art. I can kind of spot that sometimes.
Yeah, 100%.
They don't have the art at like the front of mind, and that's kind of what discounts the genre to like the outside people who might actually get into it. So they see people like that and they see just straight through it. They're like, oh fuck, like he's just getting pushed because it's making money at the moment. You know?
Yeah.
But I think like, yeah, not enough. Like how he does it. Like he really spots someone and like Juan or Juan. I think that's how you say it.
Juan.
Yeah. Fuck.
Shout out Juan.
Yeah. Unbelievable rapper. But like how he really spots someone and like how he couldn't give a fuck about money. He's really all about like, let's put your all into this art and see what happens. I think that's something we really need to focus on for the progression of the scene. If we ever want to compete with the UK or God willing, America, like we really need to focus on our art. That's what the Americans have done.
Yeah,
what the UK's done. Like Skepta's a living example of it.
100%.
ASAP Mob's a living example of it.
Yeah.
Focus on the art, the money will come. Focus on the money, your art's just going to turn to shit before you know it. Trends come and go, and we just hop on it too much.
Yeah, hard.
What do you do? Now, West Coast Party, Bandoleros, they're your biggest songs. I've always wondered, what's it like to perform live?
It's fucking hectic, bro.
And
it's one of the best feelings, like other than actually making the song, like to be on stage and to be like, rapping a song that you wrote and other people are singing it. I think that's the thing there. Like when other people are singing like your words back to you. Yeah, it's a feeling like you can't describe, or like unless you're there doing it. Like that feeling is something different, bro.
Is it? See, this is what I think would play in my head. If I was say I made Bandoleros, right? Anthem, by the way. If you haven't heard it, go check it out right now. Oh, if I was playing Bandoleros and there was 500 to 1,000 people singing it back to me. What would be playing in my head was the studio I was making it in.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Is that what kind of happens? Like it's kind of like a flashback of like the song kind of being made?
Like sometimes, but it's more like, at least for me, like I'm in the moment, like I'm just embracing like the fact that like, fuck, like these people actually know my song. Like, yeah, it spins me, bro.
What goes off the most when you perform?
Probably West Coast Party. Like, yeah, one of the two, bro. West Coast Party or Bandoleros. Yeah.
Is that how you say it?
Bandoleros, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Right, how are you saying it?
I was just saying bandoliers.
Bandoleros. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, it's the same shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the most people you've performed in front of?
I think it was, fuck, I might be wrong, but I think it's like 5,000. I opened for Tory Lanez at Luna Park.
Nuts.
Yeah.
You know about that?
Yeah. I think, yeah, I'm sure it's like 5,000.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
How was that? Did you get nervous?
Yeah, mad nervous, bro. Cause like I hadn't really performed much before that, so when it came around to that, I was kind of like, fuck, like, bro, I hope these people don't like boo me off stage or some shit, you know, like, I hope I don't fucking forget my words or nothing. But it went good though, like, yeah, I was cheering.
Now I want to go through this as well because I think this is really fucking fascinating. I think people are fascinated by it as well because it's a very, it's outside of a lot of people's world. Making a song, how like first step, how does it come about?
For me, like it starts with the beat. So like I have to fuck with the beat. I have to love the beat.
You make the beat too, hey?
Most of them, yeah.
That's incredible.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, cause like I said, bro, like I started as a producer. A lot of the time though, like it's hard for me to write on my own beats. Just cause when I'm making it, like I'm sitting there for like an hour, 2, 3 hours, like just listening to it like constantly.
Yeah.
But I like to write, like I like to hear a beat and like instantly start like whatever is first coming to my head, start writing that.
Yeah, run with that.
Yeah. So.
And then you get the beat, you start writing.
Mm.
Then next, when you start writing, is it you're laying a verse or you're laying the like
Yeah, most of the time it's the chorus. Like
Yeah.
I always try and get the chorus first, just cause like the chorus is supposed to be like the catchiest part of it, and I feel like whatever you are thinking, like when you're first hearing the beat, is like probably the catchiest thing, like straight off the bat. Yeah. So I always try to get the hook first, and yeah, cause the verses come easy for me. If I like the beat, like I could write a verse fucking like nothing, but yeah, I always try to go hook first.
Yeah, right. That's fascinating, eh?
Yeah.
And is that just to like kind of knock out in a sense, the easiest part, but also the hardest part to nail.
Yeah, and at the same time, it kind of gives me like context for the song. Because whatever I'm talking about in the chorus, like, okay, that's what I'm talking about in my verses.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
What's been your longest period that you've taken to make a song and then release it? Like, has it been a song that you worked on for like a year?
Yeah, like these ones that I'm about to release like this year, some of them I've been working on since like 2020, you know, so.
Yeah, because you haven't released really much, eh?
Nah, bro, like I've released fucking next to nothing like in these last 3 years. But yeah, like the new stuff, yeah. I don't know. Some of it I've been working on for ages. I just need to put it out there. Like, I think I'm just taking way too long with it.
Did you hear J. Cole's Procrastination song?
No.
So this producer put out, like, so you know, if you go on YouTube, you type in J. Cole type beat. This producer, he came up first in the search engine on the landing page. J. Cole gets on the beat, writes to it.
Yeah.
Sends that song back to the producer. Says, put it out on your channel. Like, thank you for making the beat, you know.
I swear.
Yeah, and so J. Cole has a song out. It's called Procrastination, but it's out via this guy's YouTube. So it's not on J. Cole's Spotify. It's on SoundCloud.
That's
and he just talks about like how much he procrastinates over a song, how big his vault is as well.
Mm.
And even in the song, he has a bar where he's like, this would be added to the vault, but my vault's too big, so I may as well just put it out via this or something. Something like that.
Yeah.
And I just think like, I don't know, interviewing a lot of artists, bro, over time, you realize like these vaults are getting fucking massive.
Yeah, hard.
Releasing it's like another story. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. What do you think it is? Why don't...
I think it's like when you make a song, you're so hyped like at first, like after you have like the first draft or whatever done, But I think it's when you go back and keep revisiting it, like you're listening to it in your car or whatever, you hear like one line is off, like you got to go redo that line, and then like you export it, fucking listen to it again. Oh no, I got to change this. Like it's little things like that for me personally. Like that's what it is. And then by doing that, by revisiting and changing it, I'm getting sick of it. I'm getting sick of hearing this song, like, you know. And then I think by the time, like, yeah, I mean, like by now, like, fuck yeah, I'm sick of most of my songs, to be honest. Yeah. But like when I release them, I know I'll feel like a lot better and I might have a love for it or whatever. But at this point, like the stuff that I made like in the UK, yeah, fuck, I'm over it. It's because I've heard it so many times. Like,
do you think the key is to release it within a certain period of time?
Yeah, while it's hot, bro. Like fresh out the oven, like as soon as you make it and it's ready, throw it out. Yeah.
Do you think that's a better way for future artists to go about it?
100%, bro.
Yeah.
Don't hold on to that shit. Like, I think most of the time you're trying to make it perfect, but like most songs aren't perfect, you know. So I think just make it, and when you're happy, like when you're first happy with it, when it's fresh, yeah, you got to get it out.
Yeah, we talked about him off air, but Wiley did that for a while. He just kind of dropped shit.
Yeah.
He just kind of put him into like he just packaged him up whatever way. Fuck him off, but like this is whatever you make of it. But at least it's out there, you know. Like at least it's out of the vault. He like fucked with it. Dave East did the bit when I like was like 15, 16. Loved Dave East. He was the same. He'd just like hop on like a beat, like a popular beat, and you just put it out on YouTube. Just leave it there. And he just kind of would do that, and then he'd drop EPs, albums. Like he just like you could. I'd be surprised if he even had a vault.
Yeah,
because he was just dropping so much stuff, and I loved it as a fan.
Yeah,
gave me such a catalog. Some of it was shit, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
My opinion's not like be all or end all.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think if I was an artist, I'd want to release hot. It's even with the podcast, bro. By the time I edit a clip,
you want it out there. Like, straight away. Yeah,
it's fucked. I like the 7-0 clip, right? Like 7-0 is my latest pod. So when I'm doing 7-0's clips, by the time I've listened to the clip through, because it just plays on repeat while I'm editing it, like in editing the captions, which takes ages.
Yeah.
Like you just go I know this word for word, and I'm gonna like this is painful.
Yeah.
Even though you're like I am fascinated with what any of my guests have to say.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated with what I come up with sometimes on this platform, but like. Yeah, but I can understand what you're saying. Yeah. Like you edit it so much, and then you're like, "Holy shit! Like, I just got to put it out, and then I'll just leave it." Like, yeah, it's a funny thing.
Exactly the same thing, bro. Yeah,
it's a hard thing. What do you think the biggest cons are of being an artist, a hip hop artist? Actually, we'll start with pros. What are the biggest pros?
Definitely the fact that like like as a creative, I can make whatever I want, right? Like, and no matter...
There's no rules. I say that all the time.
Yeah, there's no rules. Yeah, I can legit do whatever I want. And yeah, if people like it, if they don't like it, like, fuck, like, is what it is, bro. Like, it's not going to stop me from doing music, you know, or making what I want. Other pros are like, you know, like people recognize you and shit. And I don't know, they might give you free shit or something. I don't know, give you a free hat, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, doing shows, bro, like making people proud. Like I think people in my family, more specifically, like they know I've been doing music for 10 years. And when they see something like you said, like 1 million streams, like they're proud, you know? And I feel like it's like it's good for me to have something for them to see, like, you know, progress. It's not like I'm just fucking some kid still like making raps in my room and they only get 4 likes, you know? Yeah, so yeah, definitely a lot of pros, bro.
Yeah. I feel what you said there with like the 4 likes thing. The likes isn't what it's about, but the ability to go and show my mum like I'm actually doing views. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's very much like, like look how many people enjoy or at least engage with this. It's like the numbers, like I don't really give a fuck about them, but at the same time, they are a measurement of like someone's success, you know?
Yeah, at least the people that are around you or like the people that you love. Like, I feel like when I was a kid, I was telling my parents like I wanted to be a rapper, but it wasn't until like some of their friends were like complimenting my music to them, like saying, "Oh yeah, like your son, like he's doing really well and stuff." that I felt like they started to like take it more serious. So yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, to be honest, but yeah.
So biggest cons.
Fuck, I don't know. Sometimes like,
Feel pressure?
yeah, especially like when I'm in the studio, sometimes like pressure to make something that's bigger than what I've made before.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
No, I completely get you.
Yeah. But like that, yeah, that was when I was younger though. Like I don't really feel that now. Yeah, I can't really think of no cons.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm being honest.
I feel like I'd put a lot of pressure on myself, especially if I'd hit a certain amount of number, like a certain number that society agrees upon, like 1 million.
Yeah.
In terms of like views, is kind of like a number, and 100K is like the numbers we kind of agree on as being like pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And like breaking down a wall type of thing. I think if I did that, just personally, I feel like I'd put pressure on myself to try and go back for that.
Yeah.
And then I'd kind of lose focus on my own art, which I think is the trade-off. Like, if you want to focus on your art, you got to forget about the numbers, but sometimes your numbers pay your bills, you know?
Yeah. And I think that's what it is, bro. Like most of the cons are like internal. Like they're not things that happen like, you know, externally. Everything is like in your own head almost. Like
Yeah, the battles fought every day in your own head. Yeah.
They're probably the biggest cons.
Speaking of battle, writer's block.
Yeah.
You ever had it heaps bad?
Yeah, bro. Like, especially when I was in UK, like when COVID happened, like I had nothing to write about for maybe like 2 or 3 months, and like that was probably like the longest time I ever had writer's block. And but yeah, one thing I learned, I think it was a Pharrell interview I watched, where he was like, whenever you get writer's block, just keep writing, because you gotta kind of like write through the bullshit and like filter it out almost until you start writing like good stuff.
Yeah.
And it works, bro. Like whenever I've got writer's block, like after watching that interview, like yeah, I just write through it, and yeah, eventually like it starts sounding good again.
Yeah. There's a book called The War of Art. It basically taps into this idea. I've mentioned this on the podcast before, so if you've heard this, I'm sorry if you're hearing this again. Basically, it taps into the idea of like writer's block's perfect example. He's like, if you tell yourself on this given day you're going to write for 2 hours, you have to write for 2 hours, even if it's one page and you sit there. But as long as you sit down and you are with a book and you don't have your phone on you and you sit there for that 2 hours, even if you write as much as one page, you've done. You're fine.
Yeah.
Go again the next day. And after a certain amount of repetitions, it will just, flow state will just come in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I definitely believe that, bro. I think it has something to do with like discipline, like just like showing up, right? And like the consistency in showing up, like something in the universe taps in and, you know, like changes when you're like constantly like pushing it to change. Yeah. So yeah, I definitely believe that.
Yeah, even with this, bro, I don't want to fucking edit it like on a Friday night. You know what I mean? That's what I have to do, bro. I come here, I clean, and then I edit. That's what I spend my weekend nights doing. And like, fuck, like after a certain amount of time, you just keep showing up. And like yourself, 7-0, Marvs as well. Like these were artists I still love, but like I loved listening to you guys when I was like 18, 19. And I didn't think like there would be a possibility to work alongside or with yourselves, you know, at that time, at 18, 19, I was a gimp, trust me. So like, yeah, there's very much, if you rock up every day, the universe just conspires.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? It just continues to conspire, but you have to rock up every day.
Yeah.
There's no getting around it.
Yeah.
If you don't, like, you can't just do it when you feel like it.
Yeah, no days off, bro. Like, even those days when it feels like, yeah, you don't want to do this shit, like, you still got to get in there and do that shit.
Yeah. It's not even that grind set bullshit like they talk about. It's just like very much for your own benefit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Otherwise, you fall into a slump.
Yeah.
That's worse than the one you're suffering on one day. You fall into a slump of months. And yeah. With the writer's block, how did you come out of it? Like, was it new experiences? Was it?
Yeah, definitely new experiences, bro. Like, I think when you live a little and you, like, so me living over there, like, I was experiencing, like, you know, a new environment, new people, new situations, like, so like there was a lot to say. But I think my biggest problem there was like I was making music that I felt like no one would relate to.
Over there or here?
Like both.
Or like you're stuck in the middle type of thing?
Yeah, because like I'm talking about like fucking moving away and like, you know, like up and leaving my home and shit, like randomly, like with no plan or nothing like that. And now I'm in fucking Cannes. Now I'm in Switzerland. Now I'm in like Amsterdam. Like, and I just feel like, I don't know, people, they couldn't relate to that, to be honest. So yeah, I just make new shit.
Do you feel like if you put it out to the universe, some way, somehow, the people that needed to hear that would hear it?
Yeah, maybe, yeah. And a lot of the time, like the stuff that I make, and I'm like, nah, this ain't really it. Like, turns out to be like, fucking yeah, it does great.
Yeah.
Yeah, the perfect example is like West Coast Party. Like, I made that on a whim. I think I made the beat in like 2015, and like when I met Biggs, I sent it to him, just because like I thought of him, or like I thought of that beat when I met him, and then like once I heard his verse on it, I was like, yeah, fuck, like this could be something, yeah. But yeah, at first like that song was like nothing. I was like not thinking it would do good, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny how it works. Eh?
Yeah, so funny, bro. I don't understand it. That's why, like, for me, I know now, like, even if I think it's not gonna do great, like, still put it out, because you don't know. Like, I mean, me, like, I don't know what's gonna crack and what won't. It's like some of the songs I make, like, I'm making it and I'm listening back and I'm like, fuck, this is gonna blow up, and then it does fucking 4 likes, you know? Yeah, so.
I've had that, these podcast clips. Funnily enough, shout out D-Boss, shout out Red Honcho, one of the greats. I explained to him, we're talking the Frank Ocean label thing. Remember that? Like, you released the Endless with, and it was only on Apple Music in the contract. Next day, he drops his own album.
Yeah, yeah.
I explained that whole thing to Red Honcho just for short. And I clipped that up for whatever fucking given reason. I was like, oh, I feel like there might be someone on TikTok that like I don't expect this to get more than 1,000 views.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just feel like someone on TikTok might like this. So I put it on TikTok, and then like I think like a day later I came back to TikTok, completely fucking forgot what I'd done.
Yeah.
And one of the boys messaged me, he's like, hey bro, you like your video's blown up. Like I couldn't believe it was your video.
Yeah.
I got back to it, it had like 600K.
Swear.
Yeah, it's my most viewed video. It's at like 700K now.
Yeah.
But it was people, like, I was surprised. A lot of people didn't know about it.
Yeah.
Because it didn't really get pushed in the media, you know? Like, it was just like, oh, Frank Ocean just dropped a back-to-back album.
Yeah, yeah.
People didn't know the story.
Like the story behind it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of like what's actually happening. And yeah, that was just like a perfect example. And that really set the tone in my head for like what was to come. It's like, I just need to keep fucking rocking up.
Yeah, yeah.
And keep releasing and then just keep putting out clips. So no matter, even if it gets 300 views, I don't care. Next day, upload another clip, you know? That's why you just got to view it. That's why I try and tell the boys as well. Like a lot of the younger boys from up in the mountains that like I bring along, they get motivated for like a month. Or not even, like even my mates, like some mates I have as well. They get motivated for like a month. They kill it for that month. And then they kind of slip back into what was going on before. I just say to them, like, bro, like you can't do that. Like it's every day, even if it's shit. Like you have to come back, eh?
Yeah, 100%.
No matter what you're pursuing, like. You want to be the best fucking bricklayer in the world, you got to fucking lay bricks every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want to be the best rapper. Guess what? Best rappers are in here every day. So I don't know. I feel like that kind of gets lost on people. They just do it when they feel like it.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's what separates, you know, like the 90% from the 10%, right? Like the 10% of people that show up every single day and make sure, like, you know, they have discipline, right? They make sure that when they show up, like, they do what they do, even if it's shit, right? And still come back tomorrow. Yeah.
It's fascinating, eh? It's fascinating.
Very.
I think 'cause nowadays I feel like we get caught up in productivity. I was doing that last year. It was like, oh, I did all these things today. I was very productive. And then like, yeah, I realized like, fuck, I actually really didn't do much.
Yeah.
I kind of just did what I needed to do. You know what I mean? Like doing the washing, fucking doing food prep, all like working out. Like, of course you have to do that, but like. I really needed today to sit down and edit my podcast. I didn't do it. And I disguised it in productivity, which is actually procrastination. You know?
Yeah.
It's a big thing. I think a lot of artists as well, like creatives just in general, kind of things. Speaking of creatives, you've done like basically everything across the board, hey, when it comes to hip hop. You've been behind the camera, you've been in the studio, in both behind the mic, behind the computer. Is there anything else you've covered across hip hop?
Producer,
videographer, rapper.
Yeah, I think yeah, that's
You like the
about it.
rust, bro. You like rust.
Yeah, I mean, like the thing is, I enjoy doing stuff like this. Like even before I was doing music, like I was into like camera shit,
Yeah.
and so like I always had a camera at school, and like I would just video like my boys fucking playing guitar or whatever, and they'll do like a little rap, and I'll go home, edit it, and then like come back just to show the boys. Like we wouldn't upload it or anything, but you know, just so everyone has it on their phone, and you know, it's like a fun little thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
I used to do the same, eh?
Yeah, it's mad though, eh? Like,
Yeah.
especially like, I think for me it was more like their reactions. Like when I would show them, and they'll be like, "Fuck, this is hectic," and I'll be like, "Yeah, let's do another one tomorrow." Like, you know, it's just that I don't know, like the fun of like creativity is it's limitless, bro.
Yeah, I often the first thing I really did in high school was like start making videos. They were fucking like trick shots.
Oh, okay,
Fuck,
yeah,
that
yeah.
was shit. They were bad. It's still on the internet. If you can find them, I'll give you a free Helos hoodie, and I'll know if you find them or you're just going back. You're cheating if you've already seen it. But yeah, so we did that, right? But that was like my first step, and then I actually got into like videography after. Like I bought a GoPro. My mum got me a GoPro in like 2012.
Oh,
So they weren't like really big at the time.
yeah,
So I was kind of just fucking around with that. GoPro Hero, I think it was the first edition. And then, yeah, I often get concerned nowadays when I make videos for Helos that have nothing to do with like really anything. I just enjoy it. So like I made a video last week called Love. It was about like it was just a young couple that was modeling. And they were just wearing Helos hoodies. And that was, I realized in that moment, like I kind of have lost the idea of video making sometimes in the idea of like profit and
yeah.
trying to make something that will hit.
But that's a good thing though. Like,
Yeah.
I think you should never be making something for the like fact. Like, you should never be making something hoping it hits.
Yeah.
Like, or making something like being like, oh yeah, like this has to hit, this has to hit. Because I think that's where like your mind kind of like deteriorates. Like, and it goes away from like the actual like
Art.
yeah, from the art of it, bro. Like, you have to make stuff just because like you genuinely like want to make it.
Yeah. 110%. Bro, we've been in here for like an hour and a bit now.
I swear.
Yeah, goes quick, eh?
Yeah, bro.
Look, before we leave, Elijah Yo, you've got the album coming. When can people expect to start seeing like you know, drip feeding it type of thing?
Very soon.
Very soon.
Very soon.
You gonna hop on any like freestyling platforms or anything? Remind people that you still got it.
Yeah.
Oh, Wings, hook him up.
I'm gonna have to, bro. Like, yeah.
Yeah, Wings will be listening.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, he'll get on the Sky Session.
Sessions.
You seen him?
bro. Yeah, G.
Oh, bro.
That Tactics and Moses one, bro. That shit's like, yeah.
That's what Soca could do.
Yeah.
That reminded me like that. Like seeing that, I was like, oh yeah, Soca and Ronan
Yeah.
definitely do that stuff. You know, that Say True God.
Yeah.
That one, and there was a bar, like personally, I'm half Italian, right? When he talks about and like growing up in the mountains and growing up half of something is kind of a bit different, you know. And he talks about like being half, I think he says half Samoan, half Indigenous.
Yeah.
And he's like stuck in the middle.
Yeah.
Very interesting thing. Like, I could somewhat relate to it with like being stuck with like how I identify, whether I identify as Italian or Australian, you know, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And like that yeah, such heavy bars. 360 even killed it, bro. I didn't expect that. I thought he lost it. You know?
Yeah.
I thought like there's no way he comes back from the level he was once at, but I think you'd kill it on that.
Yeah. I definitely will, bro. Wings, chuck me on that shit, bro. When we're ready to roll, bro, yeah, I'm gonna be hitting this guy up like repetitively. Yeah, bro.
Are you independent?
Yeah, G.
How do you find that?
It's alright. I think
You enjoy the creative control?
yeah, more like I enjoy learning it, right? Like learning the business of music, and yeah, control mainly.
Yeah, fuck
But yeah, I think like it definitely does get hard. Like you want more people like around you that's, you know, gonna push you and motivate you and, you know, help you get your shit done. But yeah, being independent, bro, it comes with like, you know, independency. Like,
yeah,
you know, like you have to like do this shit yourself and you have to want to. And if you don't want to, yeah, let's go sign with the label.
yeah. Finally, advice for young creatives. Young people, what's your biggest advice to them? Young people are looking for something to chase, whether it be, you know, even if they just want to be a chef, if they want to be a mechanic,
Mm.
or if they want to be the greatest rapper alive, if they want to be the greatest producer of all time, which are one piece of advice that sticks true to all of them?
I've got 2 pieces of advice, if that's all right.
Yeah.
The first one is discipline, like what we were saying before. If you really want this shit, like you gotta show up every day. You know, you can't. Yeah, no days off, bro. Like even when shit is shit, still show up. The second thing is like be unique, bro. Like have your own style, do your own shit. Don't try to be like the guy down the road. Like don't try to be like these other people. Like fair enough. Like take your influence from them, but like do your own thing, bro. Like don't try to imitate other people. Yeah.
I think the thing that a lot of people, just to add to that, I think the thing a lot of people lose is if you are just yourself, you are inherently unique. So the second you change to do what you think people might like because you've seen someone successfully portray that image, that's the second you lose like your, is uniquity a word?
Yeah.
Fuck, I don't know.
Yeah, like your uniqueness. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you're stepping away from like, being who you truly are. But who you truly are is what's gonna get you to where you want to be. I think.
Yeah, I completely agree with it. And like, I just kind of noticed that music's a really good example, and just in all aspects of life, like just be inherently you.
Yeah.
Like whatever feels true to you. And like I sit here talking to you is the same way I talk to my best mate from the age of 3. You know, like I just know in my heart of heart I got to be me, and it's like slowly but surely I see it starts to pay rewards.
Yeah.
Perfect example is you're sitting right in front of me now. You know? I didn't see that shit happening a few years ago. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'll leave you with. Don't take advice off me, but. All right, we're at the end of the show. I just want to say massive thank you, bro.
Thank you, bro.
This was mine.
Appreciate
Love your music. I can't wait to hear your album.
Mm.
It'll be a massive drop, bro.
You might have to get me back on after I do it. Though.
Yeah, 110%. We should do maybe like a reactionary. You know, maybe a month after the dust settles to get you to talk about like how you feel and whatnot.
Yeah.
I feel like that'd be kind of cool.
Yo.
Just sit down and let's like go through the reactions, go through the feedback. That'd be sick. I'll definitely be tuning in the day it drops. Is it? Yeah, so it's within this year, right?
Definitely be this year, bro.
Yeah, fuck yeah, can't wait. Where can people find you on social media?
Elijah Yo everything. So like anything you're on, it's all Elijah Yo.
Spell Elijah Yo.
ELIJAH space YO.
Yeah. And as always, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next week. Peace.